Recently, I switched from portrait to landscape on the advice of some folk. They're like, yeah, I mean, you can't continue to do portrait. Landscape's where it's at. And the argument seems to be, well, when you're watching a TV, we like our TVs to be landscape, right? And the world, the view from our point of view typically is definitely more landscape. We have a very wide view, relatively speaking, compared to the up and down view. Those might be good arguments, they may not be good arguments. I'm not really entirely sure. I certainly appreciate seeing the wide view, and from my point of view, I didn't really understand. I'm the target of this video, so I'm vertical, and we might as well make it a portrait. But ultimately, I've decided to go back mostly to portrait, despite these arguments, for the following reason, which I think is not necessarily so obvious. In portrait, when I look at you, I'm going to put my finger towards where the camera is, right? Now, my eyes are fairly near there in terms of on the screen that you're looking at. So I'm looking at my eyes and seeing myself because I have it sort of faced so I can see myself, so I can get the feedback so I know that I'm in frame and so forth. And so my eyes are actually looking at my own eyes, not the actual camera, but it's pretty darn close because, you know, I'm up here kind of near where the camera is, what I just mentioned. Now, in the case of when you turn the whole thing sideways, which I won't do now because it won't sort of shift, the video won't be able to handle that in terms of these different kinds of YouTube modalities and so forth. But now the distance between where my eyes are looking, which is right at my own eyes, and the camera is much farther. So it would be like, and I noticed when I'm looking at myself on a landscape video, my eyes are way out there. I don't know if you can tell. So the entire time I'm looking at a camera, which is, I'm not actually looking at the camera, I'm looking at my eyes, but the camera is this far away. So the camera is showing me not looking at you any longer. I'm not looking at the viewer, I'm looking off to the side of the viewer, which is very distracting. I'm either this side or way off on this side. And so the entire time if I'm doing this, you're just like, he's not even looking at me, right? This is sort of strange. Now you either have to decide. So when I used to do television and sort of on head games and brain games, sometimes you would have the producer standing farther off to the side, and then it's more like you're seeing me, seeing me rather than a first-person relationship. You're seeing me talking to somebody else. But in this case, it's not quite that way, so you can't interpret it that way. It's just almost to you, but not, and I find it just very distracting. So now we can go back to just seeing you straight. Point here as a perception scientist. Many of my areas of concern, perception, and what it's like to see in these subtle experiences by virtue of this. These subtle differences of someone not looking you in the eyes changes what it's like to interact with that person. You're not interacting with them anymore if they're not able to look you directly into the eyes. So we'll do portrait.